Hi, so this is the last game from section 4 of Prep Test 92 Plus. So I'm just going to do the setup and go through the questions. Right, so we've got 5 hats displayed in a boutique. The hats are numbered 1 through 5, and each hat is one of 3 kinds, fedora, pillbox, or tam. Okay, so we are listing them from 1 to 5, so we've got a sequencing element here for sure. Let's start with that. And then we are just deciding what type of hat each is. So in these lines here, we're going to add F, P, or T. Okay, so those are going to be our players, but at this point, we don't know how many of each we have. So we have a maximum of 2 pillboxes. We know 3 is not a pillbox, so 3 can be either a tam or a fedora. Okay. 2 is the same kind as 5, so I'm just going to go ahead and stamp those both with star. So 2 and 5 are definitely the same. Okay. And then we have conditional rules. So if 1 is different from 3, okay, so if 1 and 3 are not the same, then 2 and 4 are both tams. 5 would also be a tam, right? So anytime we see 2, we know 5 is the same. So that would be something that we could note, maybe by starring the 2 whenever we see it, starring the 5 whenever we see it. So we remember we have to make them the same. Okay. And here we can do the contrapositive. So if 2 isn't a tam or 4 isn't a tam, then 1 and 3 are going to be the same type. Right, last rule, if 3 and 4 are both tams, then 1 is pillbox. Okay, if 1 is not a pillbox, then either 3 isn't a tam or 4 isn't a tam. Okay. Yeah, so what else? We do know that if 3 is not a tam, then 3 is fedora. If 3 isn't a fedora, 3 tam. We can say that from that. So, I mean, maybe that gives us some helpful connections with this set of rules here. Don't know. Yeah, so I mean, that's as much as I would do in terms of the setup, and then I would just go through the questions. So for the first question, I'm just going to be applying 1 rule at a time. So maximum 2 pillboxes eliminates B. Okay. 3 isn't a pillbox, eliminates 1. 2 and 5 are the same. Okay, so we've got tam, tam, fedora, fedora, pillbox, fedora, so that eliminates E. Right, if 1 and 3 are different, okay, which they aren't here, so this rule isn't going to allow us to eliminate anything because it doesn't apply. The sufficient condition hasn't been met. Last rule, if 3 and 4 are both tams, then 1 is a pillbox. So here we have 3 and 4 both being tams, and 1 is also a tam, so that breaks that last rule. So the correct answer here must be C. And now we have an acceptable solution. So we've got a maximum of 2p. Okay, we don't have any p here, so that's fine. 3 is either t or f. Good. We have 2 and 5 the same. They're both tams. 1 and 3 are the same, so this rule doesn't apply. 3 and 4 are not both tams, so this rule doesn't apply either. So here, just adding this guy, this is our bank of acceptable solutions. Okay. All right, next question. If exactly one tam is displayed, which one of the following must be true? Okay, so if exactly one tam is displayed, we know that either 2 isn't a tam or 4 isn't a tam for sure. Maybe neither of them are tams, right? But they can't both be tams, therefore 1 and 3 are the same. Okay, so 1 and 3 are the same. 3 is either a tam or a fedora, right? If 1 and 3 are the same, then they have to both be fedoras because we have only one tam here. So we can't have them both be tams. So 1 is a fedora and 3 is also fedora. Know that for sure. Okay. We also know that 2 and 5 are the same. They could both be fedoras or they could both be pillboxes. That would be fine. They can't both be tams. So there's that. What else do we have? Yeah, I mean, at that stage, I would just be going through my my rules here. We could have see, anything else? For both tams, they can't be, but that's yeah, okay. So 3 is a tam, can't. And 4 is a tam. Could be true. Don't think that has to be true though. 2 is a pillbox. I don't believe that has to be true either. Oh, but we do have to have exactly one tam. Okay, so because we do have to have exactly one tam, then it has to be 4 because 2 and 5 are going to be the same. Yeah, so B is the correct answer. Sorry about that. Yeah, so just looking at this again, if we wanted to show the two options for 2 and 5, right, we could have P, P, or F, F. And then we do have to have one tam. So either way, we would have tam at 4, and these are both acceptable solutions. So we can keep them in our bank of acceptable solutions. Okay. Which one of the following must be true? No more than one pillbox is displayed. No, we have a maximum of 2, and we could have 2. We actually have an example of that, right? No more than 3 fedoras. We have an example where we have 4 fedoras. No more than 4 tams are displayed. So this is interesting. If 3 and 4 are both tams and 2 and 5 are both tams, then 1 is pillbox, right? So let's write that out and see if that breaks any rules. Okay, so we've got 2 and 5 are the same. We don't have more than 2 pillboxes. That middle one there, 3 is a tam, no problem with that. If 3 and 4 are both tams, then 1 is pillbox. If 1 and 3 are not the same, which here they're not, then 2 and 4 are both tams. So that's all looking good, right? So no more than 4 TAMs. No more than 4 TAMs. So could we have 5? That's the question. Okay, so we can't because of that rule, right? If 3 and 4 are both TAMs, then one has to be pillbox. So yes, that is the correct answer. Okay. And we did get an acceptable solution out of it because we can see that that's the maximum. All right, which one of the following cannot be true? 5 fedoras are displayed. So the only reason here we couldn't have all 5 fedoras was because we did have to have 1 TAM for that question. But let's double check this. So we don't have more than 2 pillboxes. 3 is a fedora, that's fine. 2 and 5 are the same, that's fine. If 1 and 3 are different, they aren't, that rule doesn't apply. If 3 and 4 are both TAMs, they aren't, so that rule doesn't apply. So we could have 5 fedoras. 4 fedoras and 1 pillbox are displayed. So where would that 1 pillbox be is the question, right? So if it's first, then 1 and 3 wouldn't be the same. And then 2 and 4 would have to be TAMs. So that's not going to get us, the solution that we're trying to get here. If 1 is not a pillbox, then we can't have those guys be TAMs. That's not going to be a problem. If 2 is a pillbox, then 5 is as well. So we can't have either of those guys be pillboxes. Can't have 1 as a pillbox. Can't have 3 as a pillbox. So 4 would have to be a pillbox. So it would be like that, right? So that would work, right? So no problem with that. 3 fedoras and 2 pillboxes are displayed. Okay. So let's try this. Okay, anything wrong with that? Okay. No, so we're avoiding triggering the conditional rules. We're not going over on number of pillboxes, right? We have fedora at 3. Yeah, 2 and 5 are the same, so that one works. 2 pillboxes and 3 TAMs. Okay, so what if we just replace the fedoras with TAMs? Is that allowed? So here we do have an issue where 3 and 4 are both TAMs, 1 should be a pillbox, right? So this particular attempt isn't going to work, right? So what's something else where we could have 2 players be the same? TAM. So this is 3 TAMs and 2 pillboxes. 1 and 3 are the same, so we can ignore this rule here. 3 and 4 are not both TAMs, so we can ignore this rule here. 2 and 5 are still the same. We do have a problem though, because 3 can't be a pillbox, right? So that one's not going to work either. So it looks to me like that's the one that can't be true. Can we have 1 pillbox and 4 TAMs? We already have an example of that. So we have actually eliminated all the other answer choices. So it's got to be D. If 4 is a pillbox, okay, so we do have one example of that. Which one of the following could be true? All right, so 4 is a pillbox. All right. All right. So 2 and 5 can't neither of them can be a pillbox. So there's that, right? So 2, 3, and 5, either Tam or Fedora for all of those. Right. Okay, so let's see. Could we have exactly one Tam displayed? So if 3 is a Tam, then that would be a problem. If 1 is a Tam, that would be a problem. And so yeah, 4 is not a Tam, so 1 and 3 have to be the same. And 2 and 5 have to be the same. So we can't have exactly 1 Tam. We can't have exactly 2 pillboxes, right? We can't have exactly 3 fedoras, but we could have exactly 4 fedoras, and we can't have exactly 5. So essentially what we'd be dealing with here, because 1 and 3 have to be the same and 2 and 5 have to be the same, that would mean that we could have Tam, fedora, Tam, pillbox, fedora. Okay. We could have sort of like the opposite situation, or we could have a bunch of Tams or a bunch of fedoras, but we would have to have like even numbers of fedoras and Tams, either 2 and 2 or 4 of each. So D would be the only one that would work. Okay. And that's the last question. So yeah, I mean, this one definitely, it's the last game. We would expect it to be challenging. And a lot of sort of numerical deductions that we're making, but definitely important to keep in mind what we're dealing with here with the contrapositives. That could have saved me a bit of time if I had been checking my conditionals with 4 as a pillbox. If I just, 4 is not a Tam, that means 1 and 3 have to be the same. 1 and 3 have to be the same. 2 and 5 have to be the same. So we can't have pillboxes among any of those because we already have 1 pillbox, and we can't have more than 2, right? So if we added a pillbox to any of the other spots, that would end up making us have 3 pillboxes total, because all of the remaining spots has a double, right? So 1 and 3 both have to be the same. 2 and 5 have to be the same. So if I put it in 1, I'd have to put it in 3 as well. If I put it in 2, I'd have to put it in 5 as well. So that would be problematic. So that's how I figured out, well, each of the remaining spots has to be T or F. And also those remaining spots, those things have to be doubled. So we have to have an even number of fedoras, an even number of Tams. So 1 Tam's not okay, 3 fedoras isn't okay. Of course, we can't have 5 fedoras because we have to have a pillbox in there, and we have 5 total. So yeah. So yeah, hopefully this helps. There isn't a whole lot that I was able to deduce up front, apart from getting those contrapositives in there and making some small connections in terms of, the 2 and 5 have to be the same. So, if 1 and 3 aren't the same, then 2, 4, and 5 are all going to be TAMs. And then also noting, this 3 here, I don't think I ended up really using that, but if 3 isn't a TAM, then 3 is a fedora, and just writing that out in a conditional sort of way so that potentially it can connect. Yeah, so that would be about it. I hope that's helpful. If you have any questions about it, please let me know. Yeah, and if you have any other games that you'd like me to do, let me know that as well. I'd be happy to demonstrate. Okay. Have a good one. Bye.